you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to congratulate my sister, Professor Margaret Kana, for giving me this opportunity to second this very important bill. Mr. Speaker, this is a very important matter, and it's not surprising that a medical expert is the one seconding it, because sometimes the House, it would help if you assist of the seriousness of a bill based on actual humanly experience. Mr. Speaker, this is not a light matter. Worldwide, it is estimated that over 1.5 billion people are affected with some degree of loss of hearing. And that worldwide, we actually have 70 million people who are afflicted with deafness. And the bad news is, of these 70 million people in the world, 80% of them are from the developing countries, which means this is a problem in Africa, and by extension, therefore, in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, so that it is not lost to us, the problem of hearing loss not only affects the individual, but it also affects the family of that individual. And Mr. Speaker, it affects the friends of that individual, and what's more, it affects the economy. These people are not able to make their contribution in creation of the commonwealth, of the family, the commonwealth of the community, the commonwealth of a nation. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, as I request members that we all stand behind Senator Sige and Senator Professor Margaret Kamal in quickly passing this bill, I would like to draw their attention on really what causes loss of hearing. The commonest cause, Mr. Speaker, is the natural aging process. As people age, so does loss of hearing become more and more evident. Then we have the contribution from accidents. It can be a mass accident, you are involved in a road traffic accident, or a direct hit on the hearing organ or hearing organs. Mr. Speaker, something which really lost to many Kenyans and which is very important is deafness as a result of noise pollution. And noise pollution is so rampant that it comes from some very bad places and some very good places. We all would be happy to condemn the music, loud music in the estates, the loud music in disco matangas that takes place in villages, because they are bad. But we are also lost, honorable members, to the fact that churches are causing serious noise pollution. Some of the churches, and I don't wish to name any, they will go on playing their drums and shouting and preaching late into the night. And Mr. Speaker, this actually causes pollution. And with that pollution, slowly by slowly, people lose their hearing capacity. Is it lost on you, members, that some of the very loud preachers, and I know my own brother Bishop is looking at me with very keen eyes. I'm speaking technically, not emotionally. It should not be lost on us that if you listen to a preacher who preaches most of the time, they tend to speak louder because they think the people that they are talking to are not hearing them, so they raise their voices. It's because their hearing capacity has by itself gone down. Mr. Speaker, without the proper intervention, we have diseases that affect the ear, the nose, the throat, and these diseases actually lead to to loss of decrease in hearing. What is more scary is that 60% of the young people, 18 years and below, who therefore this bill is really attempting to uplift, they get deaf because intervention was not made at the proper time. And the proper time is simple, Mr. Speaker, to encourage our women when they are pregnant to attend child maternal clinics.
Tabone, would you wish to be informed by Senator Kavindu?
Certainly, the gracious lady may inform me.
Kindly proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to inform Senator Halwale that I'm a preacher and I don't preach so loudly, I preach moderately. So when he's saying that preachers preach loudly because they lose their hearing, that is not true. I'm a preacher and I know that. So point of correction, and can you withdraw that because I'm a preacher? And I apologize to preachers. Thank you.
Senator Bone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
Bone,
I'm guided.
Kindly, Senator Bone, I do understand that you're a medical doctor. And therefore, your statement, is it based on your medical experience that the more the preachers speak in a loud manner, it therefore means that their own hearing has diminished? Is it medically proven? Are you saying that in a capacity as a medical doctor, or it just a statement that is not based on any scientific facts? Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to apologize to my sister if in any way you thought my statement was an affront to preachers. Not in any way. But if you ask doctors, they will tell you, Mr. Speaker, sir, that hearing is a manifestation of successful communication. And this is why the ones who are deaf, we are making a bill today to help them to communicate with people. When you are speaking, the reason why in a public rally where you don't have a hearing aid, you raise your voice, it is because, Mr. Speaker, medically, the intellect of the mind is tuned to inform you that even as you speak, those people you're speaking to must hear you. And as you strain yourself over and over, just like you are shouting for those people 100 meters away to hear you, and you are making noise, you are also hearing yourself. Your voice is polluting your own ears. Mr. Speaker, having apologized, I'll not go further. Allow me to conclude my contribution. I was saying that these children whose mothers do not attend clinics, whose mothers do not take them to the clinic during their early age, it is called the neonatal period, are more likely to lose their hearing sense. And it affects, Mr. Speaker, 60% of the population below 18 years. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, allow me to conclude by urging the public to know that there are interventions that we can make so as to reduce the people either with deafness or people with diminished hearing capacity. As I've said before, if you give good maternal care to our pregnant women, if you give good neonatal care to newly born children, is a huge contribution that you make. And because the majority of the people on social media, the majority of the people who have access to modern telephony, the majority of the people who have a good education are actually the minority of the community that is called the nation, these matters may look light. Mr. Speaker, We also would like to encourage people that you should have positive methods of communicating with children. Because some of the children with diminished hearing loss, Mr. Speaker, if you don't talk to them positively, especially if you are a teacher, you might think that this child is foolish. Positive communication means you talk to these children when you have, Mr. Speaker, eye contact. And members of the public ought to know that as we create this law, we have got hearing aids that actually make a difference. This house knows the common one that you see as loops that are looped into the child's ear or the patient's ear. They help. We also have, where families can afford care, we have what we call cochlear implants, which they can use. And then finally, the most important, and I'm happy it is captured in this bill, the government, both national and county, must make their own contribution in increasing the number of interpreters. In fact, Mr. Speaker, if you go to some of our rallies, if you watch some of the football matches, if you watch some of the crusades, the people who normally do interpretations are volunteers. They know in their own minds that in that crowd, in that audience, we have people who are not hearing. So they make their own contribution. So it would help, Mr. Speaker, that we all contribute towards increasing the number of interpreters. With those many remarks, I wish to second the bill as moved. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Senators. Now proceed to propose the question that the Kenyan Sign Language Bill, Senate Bills number 9 of 2023, be now read a second time. We now proceed to make